What's up guys, my name is Ace, and since the big buff to tuning with the Season 2 Reloaded update, I've been starting to dive into it a whole lot more, and I plan on making several videos in the near future talking about optimizing various aspects of tuning. Unfortunately, I can't fit all of that into one video, that's just too much going on. But today, I wanted to talk about one particular style of tuning that can give you a very slight edge or a very slight improvement to your weapon with essentially zero downside. Now, just to be clear at the beginning of the video, this isn't going to be a massive game changer on your gun. It's just one of those little things you can do to give you a slight edge in the game. And this involves tuning ammunition, which also got a pretty significant buff with the Season 2 Reloaded updates. For many of the ammo types, their downsides have been eliminated completely. And as a result, if you've got that spare attachment slot on your gun, you don't know what to use it on, now after this update, I'd highly recommend using the ammo type and then tuning the ammo appropriately. And I wanted to show you the benefits that you can gain from this without losing anything meaningful on your gun at all. So diving right into it, when you tune any one of the ammunition types, at least for the regular guns in the game, these are the sliders that you're going to have access to. On the left-hand side, we have damage range versus recoil smoothness, and on the bottom end, we have recoil steadiness versus bullet velocity. And the first thing I wanted to explore is improving our recoil with tuning. And I'm talking about recoil steadiness here because that's going to impact the actual magnitude of your recoil. Whereas recoil smoothness, still, I've revisited this, I've tried to do some testing on it. I still can't really find any noticeable benefit to improving recoil smoothness in this game. I'm sure it does something, but I can't even figure out what it is, and as a result, you're not likely to notice any difference whatsoever in the game. So let's start this off just focusing on that bottom slider, recoil steadiness versus bullet velocity. And the first gun I wanted to test here is the Vaznev 9K. The first recoil plot is the base gun using the armor-piercing ammunition, but I've got no tuning on there whatsoever, so you're just getting the armor-piercing benefits. And then on the second plot, again, we're just using that armor-piercing ammo, but this time, we're tuning for recoil steadiness. And as we can see here, when we're looking at the side-by-side, there is a slight but very noticeable adjustment to our recoil when the only factor that changed here was tuning for recoil steadiness with that ammo type. As for another test I wanted to show, I tried this with the Vel 46, again doing the exact same thing with tuning, just one ammo type. That's the only attachment on the gun, and the only thing that changed was the tuning. And again, we can see there is a slight improvement when we're tuning for recoil steadiness here. And then finally, I wanted to do an assault rifle here as well. We've got the M4, and I did the exact same thing. And you can see the recoil has changed slightly here. Those initial shots fired tend to group a little bit tighter together when you're tuning for recoil steadiness. We're also getting a slightly lower total magnitude of recoil, and it also seems to deviate a little bit less horizontally when you're doing the tuning. Now, like I said at the beginning, this isn't a massive difference when it comes to our recoil in the game. However, it definitely seems to give us at least a slight improvement in this area, and every little bit helps, especially if you're not losing anything in order to gain this power. And if we remember back to the sliders, when we tune toward recoil steadiness, we're tuning away from bullet velocity. And it turns out I went and did the testing with this, and at least with hand testing, I can't detect any difference whatsoever in bullet velocity when we tune in the direction of recoil steadiness on the ammo type. And as a result, there's effectively zero downside for tuning in the direction of recoil steadiness, so you get this slight benefit without trading anything off for that benefit. So if this is something you haven't played around with yet, especially if you're using a weapon setup with ammo type already, or you've just got that spare floater attachment slot and you don't really know what to do with it, I definitely recommend popping an ammo type on there that doesn't have any downsides to it, and then tuning in the direction of recoil steadiness. Not only are you gaining the benefits of that ammo type, you're also gaining extra recoil control, which you wouldn't normally think of when choosing the ammo type. Now, of course, that is just looking at the bottom slider when tuning ammo type. What about the other slider when we're tuning for either damage range or recoil smoothness? Well, like I said, I still haven't been able to find any noticeable benefit whatsoever for improving recoil smoothness in this game. It doesn't seem to help with actual recoil, it doesn't seem to help with visual recoil. And as a result, again, if we tune in the direction of damage range, we're not going to be losing anything noticeable when it comes to recoil smoothness. And I did the testing on how much you improve your damage range here, and it turns out we get a 4.5% increase to our damage range by optimally tuning our ammo type in the direction of damage range. And just to give you a few examples, using the same guns that we tested for recoil control, just for consistency's sake here, this isn't a massive difference by any means, but every little bit helps here, especially when there's no downside. In fact, there's actually some barrels in the game that give you roughly the same amount of damage range increase as just tuning this ammo type. So why not do it? There's really no reason not to do it. And this, as well as the recoil steadiness tuning on ammo types, is something I'm definitely going to be keeping in mind from now on while building my class setups. And anytime I've got that extra attachment slot where I don't really know what to do with it, that's now going to go toward an ammo type that doesn't have a con, and then I'll make sure that I tune this in the direction of damage range, as well as recoil steadiness, just to make my gun a little bit better. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's fairly quick video. This is just something that I really wanted to touch on since we have seen such noticeable changes with the Season 2 Reloaded update in this area. And with that, I do want to hear from you guys. First up, were you guys already doing this? Were you already tuning your ammo in order to make it a little bit better? Is this something you are aware of? And if not, is this something you're going to start doing now? And second, like I said, I want to start revisiting tuning in a bunch of different areas, but I am going to have to break it up into individual videos just because I don't want things to be way too overcomplicated with it. So I am curious to hear from you guys, and I may touch on these in a future video. What are the most beneficial things to tune that you found, especially after the Season 2 Reloaded update? I'm open to testing pretty much anything when it comes to this, and if I ever find any really interesting results here, I will be making a video about it to help you optimize your tuning now that it's actually a very solid idea to tune in this game. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.